I'm Michelle Heaton for GNO. I'm here with Stefan Lustig talking about traffic tickets and DUIs. Moving on to your profession, what should an individual do when they get pulled over?
Well, they should remain very calm and be polite and not say too much and take the ticket, go on their way. If they get a ticket, of course. And if they're polite, there's a chance that the officer could let them go, especially if you're a female.
I know I've gotten pulled over for speeding tickets. I once cried. Does that...
Well, it depends upon the personality of the officer, and it depends upon the appearance of the individual. If you're a pretty female, for some reason they have a tendency to not receive as many traffic tickets as other individuals.
Okay, well that obviously didn't work for me then, because I only got a couple miles off of my speeding ticket. So tell me about the DUIs. Let's say you go to a bar and you have a couple drinks. If you get pulled over for, let's say, swerving a little bit, what should you do then?
If you get pulled over for swerving, it depends I don't think the officer is going to give you a ticket necessarily for swerving, but he may have a concern that you are driving under the influence to the extent that your normal faculties are impaired. Depending upon what he says to you, there's going to be a multitude of responses which you can give the officer, which may have significant and drastically different outcomes. Let's say that there's two individuals, they just had dinner. Let's say they're twin brothers. They're about the same weight. They've had the same meal and the same amount of alcohol, maybe a couple glasses of wine, each of them, and they left the restaurant. Let's say fictionally that each one of them gets pulled over. One's going one direction, another person's going the other direction. In the first scenario, the officer asked the individual if he had anything to drink, and he says, I just had a glass of wine, that was it. And that's going to prompt the officer at that point to do what's called a DUI investigation, roadside sobriety exercises. And initially he's going to start with the horizontal gaze nystagmus and put a pen in front of your eyes to determine whether you have, if your eyes start jerking distinctly in the corners, it's going to be probably his opinion that you've had too much to drink. Although that's not admissible in most courtrooms in Broward County, he does use that to determine whether or not you are impaired. And after he does that, he'll ask you to perform a series of roadside sobriety exercises and even the breathalyzer. Now, if you do all of those and you blow over 0.08, which is in pretty low standard. It used to be 0.10 in Broward in the state of Florida. Now it's 0.08. And if you do blow above a 0.08, you lose your license. And you will also, if you provide them with further evidence, there's a likely conviction for a DUI in a court of law. Now, on the other hand, the other individual brother who was going the other direction, he was asked by the officer if he had anything to drink. He said, "Not a drop." At that point, the officer didn't have a whole hell of a lot to go on, but he did note the driving pattern of the individual and thought there might be a problem. So he asked him further to do the roadside sobriety exercises and the horizontal gaze nystagmus. He refused everything. And in certain situations he may be arrested, but there's really not much to arrest him on because there's not much evidence there. And even if the officer did arrest him for some reason, which he believed which would be solely his opinion, state attorney's office and case filings are going to look at it. They're going to see there's no breath, there's no pattern, there's no proof that the individual in the United States, in order to be convicted of a criminal offense, you have to be proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It's hard to do that when you don't have a breath and you don't have a roadside sobriety exercises. And by the way, those exercises are very difficult whether you're impaired or you're not impaired. And those officers practice those every day. They do them all the time. And you're asked to do them for the first time. It's not going to make you look very good whether you're impaired or not. Whether you're 15 or 75, you're going to get a traffic ticket at some point in your life. And the worst thing to do is to pay a traffic ticket, because if you pay it, it's it's an automatic admission of guilt. You get points on your license if it's a moving violation, and the insurance companies use that as a way to make money to increase your premiums. Whereas now most law firms will guarantee you no points on your license or your money back. You don't have to pay the ticket, and you don't even have to go to court because the attorney goes for you. It's a very simple process, and most people are ecstatic that they don't have to go to court 3 times just to see the officer when they hire an attorney in Broward County or Dade County or Palm Beach County.
So they should go to you.
Well, of course, I'm biased, but we do have a pretty good record. We are known as the best around here in South Florida. We have the largest volume of clientele, and a lot of the other attorneys use our attorneys, who are very well trained, or in the same different courthouses for years now.
Well, I have gotten 2 tickets and paid both of them, so the next time I'll go to you. How do I get in touch with you and the rest of us?
All right, you can call 954-463-1500, or you can call 1-877-2 Lustig, L-U-S-T-I-G. That's toll free, or you can do 954-463-1500.
Do you have a website?
Yes, we do. It's called traffictickethelpcenter.com, and we are centrally located on the corner of Oakland and Federal Highway, southwest corner of Oakland and US 1.
Thank you so much, Stefan. I'm Michelle Heaton for GNL.